it's Maureen Muldoon, and we are with lesson 73 with the Course in Miracles. 73 with the Course in Miracles, I will there be light. So it says, today we are considering the will you share with God. This is not the same as the ego's idle wishes out of which darkness and nothingness arise. This will you share with God has all the power to creation in it. The ego's idle wishes are unshared and therefore have no power at all. Its wishes are not idle in the sense that they can make a world of illusion in which your beliefs can be very strong, but they are idle indeed in terms of creation. They make nothing that is real. So this is based on that first idea of Course in Miracles, that nothing real can be threatened and nothing unreal exists, and herein lies the peace of God. And the ego will make things up. It will run around the block with your hair on fire. It will, keep you busy doing nothing. But love creates, and creation is an extension of love. So idle wishes and grievances are partners or co-makers in picturing the world you see. The wishes of the ego gave rise to, and the ego's need for grievance, which are necessary to maintain it. People it with figures that seem to attack you and call for righteous judgment. These figures become the middleman that the ego employs to traffic in grievances. They stand between your awareness and your brother's reality. Beholding them, you do not know your brother or yourself. So it's as if your brother is standing in front of you in this very impressive Darth Vader costume. And it's literally your job to unzip that costume and peek inside and say, I see you in there. You will not fool me. And then to unzip your own costume and say, hey, look at me. Me and you, innocent children of God. Let's not let these illusions of grievances tamper with the audacious nature of, our Holy Communion here. It goes on to say, your will is lost to you in this strange bartering in which guilt is traded back and forth and grievances increased with each exchange. Can a world have been created by the will the Son of God shares with his Father? Did God create disaster for his Son? Creation is the will of both together. Would God create a world that kills himself? So it's saying, does this make any sense? Sure, if you believe in a judgmental, vindictive, crucifying God, but that has nothing to do with love. And if your source is love, then God must be synonymous with that, and we can stop playing around with broken down gods. Today we'll try once more to reach the world that is in accordance with your will. The light is in it because it does not oppose the will of God. It is not heaven, but the light of heaven shines on it. Darkness has vanished. The ego's idle wishes have been withdrawn. Yet the light that shines upon this world reflects your will, and so it must be in you that we will look for today. So we're going inward. Gospel of Truth said there's a light within you that cannot fail. That today's a perfect day, and within you dwells a light that cannot fail. We've been singing, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine, since we were babies. There's a truth to that. That you can access this lightness of being. That is unencumbered of unforgivenesses and resentments and vitriol. And from that place you thrive and grow, not just for your own good, but for everyone's good. It goes on to say, your picture of the world can only mirror what is within. So if you spot it, you got it. So if you spot war and horrors, there's a place within you that has invested in that. So we got to sweep the temple, this is the temple, of all that debris, so that we're no longer renting out our minds to the illusion. It says, a source of neither light nor darkness can be found without. Grievances darkens your mind, and you look out on a darkened world. Forgiveness lightens the darkness and reasserts your will and lets you look upon a world of light. We've repeatedly emphasized that the barriers of grievances is easily passed and cannot stand between you and your salvation. The reason is very simple. You do not really want to be in hell. You do not really want to weep and suffer and die. So that's, it's actually a question. Do you really want to weep and suffer and die? No! We want to be free. We want to be free to see, be, and free love in a greater degree. We want to feel fully lit up in love. It says, forget the ego's arguments which seek to prove all this is really heaven. You know that it's not. You cannot want this for yourself. This is a point. There is a point beyond which illusions cannot go. Suffering is not happiness, and it is not happy, and it is happiness that you want. Such is your will in truth, and so salvation is your will as well. You want to succeed in what we are trying to do today. We undertake it with your blessing and with your glad accord. This is the day the Lord has made for us to rejoice and be glad, that good and greater good is unfolding for us. And we don't have to get hung up on the thorns of life. We can lift our chin and look over to the beautiful garden that's also provided for us, and not get hung up and strung out on these little classrooms that seek to, at best, maybe tenderize the spirit so that we can be available to other people who seem to be stuck in the same illusion. And we could say, hey, I thought that was real too, and it's not. I slayed that paper dragon, and you will too. Optimally, that's the idea here. We will succeed today if you remember that you want salvation for yourself. You want to accept God's plan because you share in it. You have no will that can really oppose it, and you do not want to do so. Salvation is for you. Above all else, you want the freedom to remember who you really are. Above all else, you want the freedom to remember who you really are. So if you've chosen to forget yourself, in this very moment you could choose again and say, who would I be without these little illusions and little addictions to crucifixions? Who would I be if I really were my most boldest, audacious self? Am I ready for that? Yes, you are. You wouldn't be listening to this recording right now. This record. I have a record player behind me, actually. It's so super cool. I love it. Over there. Love it. Today is the ego that stands powerless before your will, and your will is free and nothing can prevail against it. That's what we're saying in the gospel of truth. There is a light within you that cannot fail. This is what it's saying here. Nothing can prevail against it. You can't fail if this is really what you want. Therefore, we undertake the exercises for today in happy confidence, certain that we will find what it is your will to find. And remember that it is your will to remember. No idle wishes can detain us nor deceive us with the illusion of strength. Today, let your will be done and end forever the insane belief that it is hell in place of heaven that you choose. We will begin our longer practice period with recognizing that God's plan for salvation and only His is wholly in accord with your will. It is not the purpose of an alien power thrust upon you unwillingly. It's the one purpose here in which you and your Father are in perfect accord. You will succeed today, the time appointed for the release of the Son of God from hell, from all idle wishes. His will is now restored to his awareness. He is willing this very day to look upon the light in him and be saved. You ready? After reminding yourself of this and determining to keep your will clearly in mind, tell yourself with gentle firmness and quiet certainty, I will there be light. Let me behold the light that reflects God's will and mine. I will there be light. Let me behold the light that reflects God's will and mine. And then let your will assert itself, join with the power of God, and unite you with yourself, capital S. Put the rest of the practice period under their guidance and join with them as they lead the way. In the shorter practice periods, again, make a declaration of what you really want by saying, I will there be light. Darkness is not my will. This should be repeated several times an hour. It is most important, however, to apply today's idea in the form immediately if you are tempted to hold a grievance of any kind. This will help let your grievances go instead of cherishing them and holding them in darkness. So, I will there be light. This is a beautiful lesson, and practice makes perfect. So just practice it. You don't even have to understand all of the words that I just read. All you have to say is, I will there be light, and let that beautiful wave wash over you and erode any of the sticky, stagnant, pokey places that we've been walking around with, so that we can be gently moved into a higher version of ourselves, where peace is the way, and where we don't get hung up and strung out on the illusion, and where we are optimal and most purposeful purposefully playing out the role that love would have us play. That includes you and includes your happiness. So that's the good news today. Lesson 73. Thank you for being with me. Give us a little like and give us a little thumbs up and share it with your friends. But most importantly, practice it because the world needs your light and it comes from you. God bless. Namaste.